Hello Internet, this is E. Schrodinger's cat here with another episode of Builder's Dreams on the SCAL85 Patreon server. This series is not dead! Hooray! It's back, and I have built, a wolf, I think. I tried to build a wolf, and this is the closest that I came, and I think it looks okay. Oh, jeez, how I missed you like spikes. I think it's looking okay. The head's a little big, but I think we can pull that off as fur. I don't think I'm gonna go down a smaller scale than this, because it took a long time to do just down to the 8th block scale, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. So right now I gotta color this wolf in with some shading and all that fancy stuff. So I think what I can try is to put some blocks together, which I should have prepared before this clip, but I didn't. That's what I like to call preparation. Proper preparation. We just ignore the last clip and we move on from here. Because we're future oriented. So I think it's just gonna be a process of coming in here and kind of shading the outside. I think I'm gonna make this like a white wolf, or at the very least that's what I'm gonna start with before I start adding, if I add any like fur colors or anything, because I want to get the shading done right, because I do want to create, obviously it's a 3D model, but it'll look better if there is an element of shadow and light, I think. In theory. That's my theory. I'm not that experienced with building animals or anything like that, so I don't know. It's theory, we're good. It's a hypothesis. There we go. Let's be proper scientifically accurate with that. But I'm probably gonna do stuff like this. Yeah, it's starting to come together there in that way a little bit. And let's see, and we can come in. Shadows are I'm having a little struggle with, because I'm not entirely sure. Like, this is gray wool and that's white wool. Like, that was natural, but the gray or light gray wool and white wool. But then the next lightest shade is gray wool, which is really dark. So I'm using andesite and hoping it doesn't look too weird. I also have concrete. Nope, that's not right. That's not right. What else did I diorite? Light gray concrete, maybe, but in this kind of odd texture it has. Honestly, what if I got the concrete dust? I wonder if that would be any decent. Let's get rid of this atrocity. Hold on a second. Watch where'd the light gray wool go? There it is. There it is. Replace this atrocity, because that looks terrible. It looks like a awful poopy poop. So, and that actually honestly may not be terrible, but oh good lord, I went to concrete powder right here, and I wanted to try. That's a little subtle. Not necessarily. Yeah, I'm gonna need a more heavy shadow, so I think I might go back to the andesite, maybe. I don't know. Let's try stone. Stone. I had stone at one point. Now I have it again. Again, I guess I can always come back through with flat color blocks and stuff like that if it starts to look a little bit too much like stone and not enough like fur. But that's the most important part to do right now is to get the shadows and the highlights in. So here we have a wolf. There are some things that I think look really good, like this area, and there's some things that I think look really bad, like this angle. Boy, does that not look good. But let's just ignore that for now. I got the shading in place. I replaced the white wool on the top with some snow and some white concrete chisel. And down here, got this shadows in place. Got your eyes, got your ears, nose, obviously. For a first attempt at sculpting a wolf, it's not so bad. Just don't look at certain parts of it, and it's okay. I don't know what else there is to say about that. I think it looks pretty good. If I were to do this again, I would make the cheek skull area thicker here, because it kind of looks like a mouse from this angle, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and the hips here, this leg is weird. I should have brought this hip forward like the leg is, instead of being at a different angle, but you know, that's for next time. Maybe we can do another wolf sometime, and it'll be bigger and better and more proportionate. And for right now, I think I want to do the area around it. I've been looking at pictures of tundras, and that's what I kind of want this area to be like. So I've got these blocks here, because I've been looking at the pictures, and there's a lot of like grasses, like real, like auburn, like autumn colored grasses that kind of come up. Like, I don't entirely know. I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to mess with it a little bit. I want it to be in proportion with the wolf. Like, it's a big wolf. I want it to be kind of more like a sculpture and less like a, I don't know. I want the grasses and stuff to be in proportion. So, I'm gonna have to fiddle with them a little bit. I've been struggling a little bit to get variety in my like organic like nature stuff, because I kind of just default to grass and flowers. But the problem is that's most of what is in nature, and I gotta make it look interesting and unique and somehow. So I'll probably have like strands like this coming up, and maybe they're a little bit, I don't know, it's hard to, I guess I should probably make them like not as lumpy as they are right now. And I don't know, maybe, and some of the pictures I noticed they had these at the ends, they would have these like red fluffy bits, so maybe I can add on some stuff like that. It looks pretty weird on its own, but maybe it'll look good when there's a bunch of them around in a place. I don't know. I'll mess with that. Well, I've got some of these grass strands in, and they look pretty cool, I guess. The more I look at this wolf head, the more I hate it. But sometimes you just gotta sit with something and move on, and I know what I'm gonna do differently next time, so I'll just live with it, and I'll try to make the area around it, make it blend in a little bit, and try to hide some of the obvious issues with it, such as those. But for right now, I've got these tall grasses in, but they look a little strange. It looks a little strange how there's this sharp contrast between the bland, flat, plain ground, and then all of a sudden you got a thing. So I think I'm gonna come in here, and maybe I've got this mushroom block, and I never use mushroom blocks, but I think it actually kind of works in this scenario. It's texture, it's like a dry grass texture. It's like this, but it's lighter and, I don't know, it's grassier, you know. And hopefully adding in some of these little grasses will help give the big ones feel like they have more body and content to them, instead of just randomly spotted around. And if you've noticed, everything is pointing towards the south. That's actually the same thing that I have over here as we lag over. Oh geez, here we go. We're on a lag journey, lagging across. I am certain, very certain, that is chisel and bit tile energies loading and unloading as I load chunks, because it only seems to happen if I'm flying around. Like if I'm stationary, it doesn't happen, and if I am in an area that doesn't have chisel and bits, it doesn't happen. So I think over here, see, these reeds are also pointed to the south. So that's the direction I've kind of chosen, and that's a general tip for when you're building nature-y stuff, or really anything that flows and flies with the wind, is to have them all pointing in the same direction, because that's how it is in real life. The wind blows, and it gives it a sense of cohesion. Obviously, if you're doing something like a tornado or something where there would be a lot of gusty winds, you might want to do it differently, but just casual grass doing and plant doing. Just you want to give them a sense of consistency. It gives the area some life and some realism. And realism. You don't always need to be realistic, but when you are not, I don't know. You don't always need to be realistic, but sometimes you do. That's the most confusing rule I know, which is kind of generally the case when it comes to art, is that a rule applies except when it doesn't, And that's life. So I'm going to continue putting these around. By the way, I should have mentioned, and I probably should have done it at the beginning of this video, but if you haven't seen the other couple episodes, the new series that's on the channel is Minecarts and Dragons. That's an adventure map. If you've been watching up to this point, you know that I started an adventure map, and I was gonna do it on this server, but then I kind of rethought my idea, and I thought it would be better to do it on a server where I had administrative access, which means access to the FTP directory and ability to add mods, and most importantly, if I crash the server, I can clean up after myself and I don't have to make Skull to do it. So and plus I added custom NPCs and stuff like that to help with the map, and so that's why kind of why we're back here, and I'm not going to be continuing that in this series. If you want to see the continuation of that adventure map, you got to go to that other series. I just figured I'd mention it in this episode so that people who only watch this series, which is like 3 of you, will know what's going on. These feet are so bad. As I keep doing this grass, I just looking at them and I'm like, oh boy. But I guess it's not the worst thing in the whole world. It still looks like what it looks like. I should probably stop bitching, but I got this grass in, and I think what I want to do is add some dirt, maybe, to the ground. I don't know how that's gonna look. Let's see how that's gonna look. Like, add little patches of dirt like this, a little kind of coming up through the ground, and maybe we center them around the grass fronds, I guess is a good word. Strands, fronds, I don't know. Like that. Like it's kind of poking out of the earth, especially maybe around here. That could do. And maybe I'll go here sniff on camera. Good quality audio content. Yep, that's what you came here for. Like, comment, subscribe for more sniffing. I think that looks cool, and maybe we can even come in with some, I don't know, more sniffing. Maybe some red, some clay here like that to add some red touch. Like there's some red, like, I don't know, red stone. I'm so knowledgeable about science and rocks and stuff. Granite? Is granite red? It is in Minecraft, so I'm gonna assume it is in real life, because real life and Minecraft are the same, right? Yeah, that's starting to look better. I think I'll put that around. So I got some more of the dirt in around here, and that's cool. It's tying it all together, but I am unfortunately out of time for this video, so I hope you enjoyed this slightly deformed and kind of mousy looking wolf. I will, it's my first, one of my earliest attempts of trying to sculpt animals. I've never sculpted a wolf before, so it turned out, acceptable, and sometimes you gotta make something that looks weird before you can make something that looks good. So I hope it was of acceptable quality, and so I'm going to say good day to you, Internet, and thank you for watching.